right, so I'm joined by a very special guest, quarterback TJ Edwards of the Frisco Fighters, and also a man who just received an XFL draft invite. This past season was an amazing one for TJ. He led his team to a 15-3 record with some amazing stat lines. He also has been working out recently with USFL quarterback coach Zerick Rollins. TJ, once again, thank you so much for coming on, and congratulations on an amazing season. How are you doing tonight?
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. So you're a native of Garland, Texas. Talk to me about what football was like for you growing up in Texas.
Yes, sir. So, I'm originally from Dallas, the inner city, Pleasant Grove. But I moved out to Garland, like in middle school, and then that's kind of where I stayed right there, and that's kind of the city that I finished, my high school and middle school and then high school and that. But Texas, football's taken serious out here. You know, from little league all the way up to college, all the way up to Dallas Cowboys. So, uh, it's fun out here. A lot of excitement. You can expect a lot of fans at your game. So, we take football serious out here for sure.
Definitely. So I gotta ask, are you a Dallas Cowboys fan?
Most definitely, most definitely. I really don't have a favorite team that way, so I don't have my feelings hurt if they lose or whatnot. But yeah, I am a fan of the Dallas Cowboys, especially with a guy on there, Cavante Turpin, who's a part of my agency. So I'm definitely rooting for the Cowboys. Hopefully, I can land there.
Absolutely. I did not he know he was a part of your agency, but I mean that makes a lot of sense because I correct me if I'm wrong, but Turpin played with the Fighters before, didn't he?
Correct. He played for the Fighters. Kind of the same journey I'm taking. He did the indoor, then he moved out to the Europe League. Then that led to him going to the Spring League, what led to him going to the USFL, and then following with the Dallas Cowboys. So yeah, shout out to Team Up Sports and Mr. Perry Bowler. That's my agent. So shout out to them over there as well.
Definitely, definitely. Always nice to have a solid agent and get you where you want to go.
Most
So you
definitely.
attended Lakeview Centennial High School, correct?
Yes, sir.
During your senior year, and pardon me if these stats aren't accurate, but you put up a 69% completion rate while throwing for 1,342 yards on just 133 passing attempts, while also running the ball 131 times, scoring a total of 20 touchdowns to just two interceptions in 7 games. Sorry about that.
Correct.
Uh, Talk to me about how this season affected your recruitment process at the time and what led you to land at SBU.
Yes, sir. So my high school career, I didn't get it. I didn't get the opportunity to start until my senior year for varsity. I had the opportunity my junior year of playing the first 3 preseason games um, due to the starting quarterback receiving a concussion in the first game. So I was able to play a little bit my junior year, and with Texas, a lot of guys are getting recruited pretty early. So I knew that coming to senior year, I would have to have a breakout season in order to you know, get on the market for as far as college coaches, and so I could, had the opportunity of playing at the next level. So um, I just had a chip on my shoulder coming into the senior year, and I tried to, produce at a high level. So coming into the season, I started with one of my best friends. He's a great receiver. Me and him was doing some great things leading up to the season, and then he kind of left me towards mid-season. So, as you can see, those rushing stats, the coach decided he wanted to use me on the ground more. So I actually finished the senior season with 1,000 yards rushing as well. So um, he allowed me to utilize my running ability. So showcasing that led to team college coaches, gaining interest in me and my skill set. So Southwest Baptist was the first school to come up and basically promise me the opportunity to compete on the college level. Coach Philip Stayback, my former quarterback coach and offensive coordinator at Southwest Baptist for the 3 years I was there. He came up to my high school and let me know that he liked my skill set and he could see me playing as a freshman. And as soon as he told me that, I was sold. So that kind of led to me going to SBU.
Now, I'm curious. Obviously, you're an athletic guy. Did you have any schools that were approaching you about playing other positions other than quarterback?
Yes, there's always been, conversations about me switching positions to possibly like receiver, with my shiftiness. But I'm a quarterback. I've been playing quarterback since the age of 3. That's the position my father put me at. So, I've been sold on that position of quarterback. So, that's me. That's what I am. I know I got faith in my ability. So, you know. That's me, quarterback.
100% for anybody who had any doubt. There you have it. He's a quarterback. It's not going to
Yeah,
happen.
most
But
definitely.
I mean, you touched on something that I wanted to eventually speak about. It was going to come up a little bit later, but I mean, your father being a coach must have affected your outlook on the game and ultimately how you see the field as a quarterback. So why don't you talk to me about how you look at film, how you look at the field as a coach's son?
Yeah, so my dad's not the typical coach you used to. Um, a lot we grew up in the inner city, so um we had the opportunity to he had the opportunity to change a couple kids' lives through football. So, um, you know, back in the day when I was growing up, the parents allowed the coaches to have full reins on the kids and how they were coaching and how they were basically just, running their team and whatnot. So there wasn't a lot of interference with the coaches and the players back then. So my dad had full reins on how he wanted to run his team. So his style of coaching is real. I don't know how I want to say this here. He wants it done exactly the way he wants it done, and he expects nothing but greatness. So that kind of rubbed off on me, as far as like, how I approach the game. I'm harder on myself than anyone else, So with him coaching me, it just gave me, I guess, an edge on, you know, taking coaching, from your coach, not allowing your emotions to, waver what the coach is trying to, tell you and get you to get whatever that is need to be done. So, it just was easier for me to transition to middle school and high school, taking coaching from all types of coaches, and making sure that I keep the main thing, the main thing, which is coming out and executing at a high level, no matter what.
Definitely, definitely. Um, so you go on to attend Southern or Southwestern Baptist University, where you end up one of the most prolific players in school history. You talked about it earlier. One of the motivating factors was the fact that you were able to start as a freshman, which you did, and you went on to Freshman of the Year honors from the GLVC and Hero Sports. What did these honors mean to you at the time?
Well, like I said, coming off my senior year, I knew I had a chip on my shoulder. So, um, coming in freshman year, um, being told by Coach Stedback that I had the opportunity to start as a freshman, I took that off season right after that senior season, pretty seriously. My dad had me running with the tires, lifting. My mother cooking me great meals, making sure that I stay up to par with my weight. So, um, just wanted to come in the senior freshman season, prepare. With me jumping up from high school to the college level, you playing from ages from, 18 all the way up can be, well, D2, there's no clock. So guys can range from 26, 27, down there to 18. So, I just wanted to make sure I was physically ready. So coming in freshman year, I wanted to prove that I was the one, that I belong. Because I ended my senior season with about 8 offers, all Division 2. Knowing that I was supposed to be on the Division 1 level, I just wanted to showcase my talent and show that I was the best on the D2 level. And then shout out to Coach Stayback and the offense that he shaped up there. It gave me great avenues to be successful.
Definitely. I mean, you proved very early on that you belonged at this level. Again, in 2016, you found a ton more success and ended up unanimously voted the Offensive Player of the Year. After 12 games, you managed to rack up 403 passing attempts, a 64% completion rate, 3,200 passing yards, 34 touchdowns to 7 interceptions, and added another 10 on the ground with 685 passing yards. Talk to me about this season in particular and the rapport you had with your coach at the time.
Yes, sir. So coming into sophomore season, after receiving that freshman of the year honors, my coach said that the sky was the limit and that guys was going to be looking to give me their best shot coming into my sophomore year. So I kind of started to bring a couple of Dallas guys to the school. At first, they weren't recruiting around the Dallas area that much. So I started bringing some guys in from the Dallas area, and that landed me a couple of great receivers. So my sophomore year was really loaded as far as me and my weapons that I had around me. My receivers were loaded, and then my running back he actually went for 1,800 yards that year. To accommodate me and what I was doing on the field. So um, we just were clicking on all cylinders. Defense played tremendous, and then offensively, my sophomore year, the coach stayed back, kind of gave me full range to run the show. So I was able to do a lot of more checks at the line of scrimmage, and then more so with the game plans, I was able to give him, route concepts and things like that, things that I enjoy and I felt that would be, beneficial towards whatever opponent that we were playing. So, it was just more free reign. So that season, I was able to be more comfortable, be more myself instead of trying to, prove everyone. It was more so just coming in and, capitalizing off the year before. So my sophomore year, it was a great year. I actually was D2 Heisman candidate, and a lot of great things, All American and things of that nature. So great sophomore year. And I want to say shout out to the coaching staff and my guys around me for making that possible.
Absolutely. So in 2017, you end up having another solid season once again, before ultimately deciding to take a year away from school before landing with the University of Indianapolis, correct?
Yes, sir.
So, how did you spend the season away from the game, and what prompted you to make the decision to step away?
Yes, sir. So, finally, not having the opportunity to play football for the first time in my life, it was challenging. But during that time, I was able to find myself, reflect on my past and the things that have happened previous to what was going on then. So I was able to, get myself right, evaluate myself, fix the little things, so that whenever I do get another opportunity, I'm playing football, I don't make the same mistakes. So coming into the recruitment, I kind of had a lot of buzz, with the success that I was having at Southwest Baptist. So the recruitment process was pretty easy. A lot of coaches were hitting me up, and then as far as any school that I wanted to go to, if I was to contact them, they would respond to me, with quickness. So with the quickness. So I hit up South University of Indianapolis with me being familiar with them, with them being in the GLVC. So I hit them up and they got back to me, and they basically was my first offer. And I wanted to do loyalty on this journey. So they were the first team that hit me up. So I stuck it in with them. I contacted Coach Keevers and let him know that I wanted to commit, and that's what I did. I had schools like Charleston State. I had that offer. I had Ferris State. I had that offer. So a bunch of more schools, Midwestern State, a lot of more schools, but those two, Tarleton and Ferris State, those were two other schools that were at the top of my list. And I just felt that the University of Indianapolis would fit me best. I've already been playing in the cold, so and they have a lot of success over there. They're known for winning over there. So that kind of what led me to going to to University of Indianapolis. And, I did evaluation on their roster and I could see they had some studs on the roster. So um, I felt that that was the perfect place for me.
Definitely, and this ended up leading to yet again more success. I mean, you topped the 30 touchdown mark once again. But the one thing that really caught me off guard was you had one reception for 58 yards and a touchdown.
Touchdown. Yes, sir. That
How
was
did
senior
that
night.
happen?
Yes, sir. So that was senior night. The coaches were trying to, make things fun. The team we played wasn't too good, so the coaching staff thought about a way to give me the ball. Basically, for me, I found a way for me to score, and on all categories as far as rushing, passing, and catching. So we kind of drew up a play. We kind of ran it early in the game, and with us being in Indianapolis, we were playing late in the season, so it was the last game of the season. So it's pretty cold. So the first time we ran a play, the ball kind of slipped out of my hand once I tried to. It was basically a double pass. I throw it to the receiver, and then he throws it back to me behind the line of scrimmage. The first time we ran it, the ball slipped. So we kind of came back to it later on in the game and kind of turned out to a touchdown. So I'm glad we kind of, there's no telling what would have happened the first time. So I'm glad we got the opportunity to do it again, and a touchdown was the result.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yes, sir.
So after that 2019 season, obviously, as we all know, COVID kind of reared its ugly head and affected everybody in the football world. How did this ultimately affect you and your personal career path?
Yes, sir. So I came out the 2020 draft. That was my draft class, and that's when COVID was starting. So I had, after my collegiate career, with the success that I had, I was starting to receive interest from NFL teams and also CFL teams. I had workouts set up with the Cowboys and the Colts, as well as every team in the CFL, and then as well as my pro day at Texas A&M Commerce. But all those events were canceled due to COVID. So that kind of led me to taking the route as far as the indoor football league. So my workouts were kind of canceled, and a lot of the communication was, starting to slow down. So that kind of what led me to doing the indoor football league.
Gotcha. So were you actually with the IFL in 2020? Or I mean,
So, so first I did the fan control football, and then later on in that same year I did the Arizona Rapids.
gotcha. So how do these two leagues compare in terms of how do they take care of their players? Basically everything involved with that.
Okay, so with me doing the fan control football league first, um, what I want to say about them is it's basically an entertainment league. It's a league that's looking to get the fans more involved with the players. Very excitement, a lot of lights on the field. A lot of noise, a lot of music, a lot of smoke. Flying up. So it's very entertaining. If you was to watch a game, you have the opportunity, if you're a fan, to call the plays for your team that you select. So it's fun for the fans. It's more so um, a fan league. So everything went well over there. I had the opportunity to meet guys like Josh Gordon and Juddy Manziel. He actually follows me on Instagram, which is kind of cool. Marshawn Lynch, who was my team owner for the Team Beast. Richard Sherman and guys of that stature. So I had the opportunity of meeting new people, working with companies like Whoop Band, um, you know, and Black Box. So I just had the opportunity of just seeing new things, meeting new people on a higher status, and enjoy myself. The season was played out in Atlanta, so I had the opportunity to go out to Atlanta and experience Atlanta. But it was still during the COVID mandate, so we didn't have the opportunity to go out and be out in the community or nothing of that nature. But I just had the opportunity of just being in Atlanta and experiencing things out there, so that was pretty fun out there. And then the indoor football league, I mean, it's way different because the fan control league is like one league. They have multiple teams, but everybody is basically with each other, and then there's a draft every Thursday, and then everyone is selected to a team. Whereas in the indoor football league, there are organizations. So, you're a part of an organization. And then with that organization, you're trying to win a championship, basically. That's the ultimate goal. So, moving to the indoor football league, I had the opportunity of actually being a part of an organization and, actually, trying to win for that state, um, and it was pretty fun out there in Arizona. Really hot, I can say that. But as far as just the overall experience, it was a great experience. Had the opportunity of winning a lot of games out there, being around a program that's known for winning. Everything is ran right over there. The head coach knows what he's doing. So great experience over there as well.
Definitely. Well, this seems like a perfect opportunity to play your Arizona Rattlers highlights. So we're gonna play them, but it's muted, so we can go ahead and keep talking over.
Okay.
But this is for anybody who hasn't seen Mr. Edwards here play. Trust me, it's very fun, very exciting. You definitely want to catch the IFL this season if he's not in the XFL. But I have a feeling we hear his name called on draft day.
Most definitely.
So in 2020, sorry about that, you end up attempting a total of 36 passes this season for 321 yards and 5 touchdowns to just 2 interceptions. Again, aiding your teams on the ground as well. Were you satisfied with your performance as a rookie, or were you out to prove this wasn't the last we saw of TJ Edwards at the professional level?
Um, Actually, the Arizona trip up there, you know that was an opportunity where I didn't know what I was going into, so um, definitely didn't do what I was expected to do. I thought I would have the opportunity to come up and have the opportunity to play a little bit more than what I did. I was the backup there. They kind of had that guy Drew Powell, so there I basically was just learning the indoor football game. And the reason why I did the indoor football was because I was on Edmonton Eskimos negotiation list. So I knew I had to learn the high motion game, receivers moving all around me. So that's kind of why I did the indoor league. And Arizona was high on me, but I kind of didn't know they had a guy. So being up there, I just, was just learning the game of the indoor football and just trying to find myself. I knew that wasn't all I had because, like I said, I was the backup, so really didn't get to do too much on the field. But as far as watching and being around guys, and knowing how to win, that experience was great. So just learning the game of the indoor football league was more so what I was doing up there in Arizona.
Definitely. Well, we'll go ahead and play the highlights that you're better known for, the Frisco Fighters. So
Yes, sir.
obviously, you end up moving on to the Frisco Fighters in 2022. They also had another guy on the roster when you signed here. What was your competition with Blake Sims like this offseason?
That my boy Blake Sims. That's my boy. A great competition. I learned a lot from Blake. With him playing under the great Nick Saban, and being a part of the Alabama. The Alabama family. All I did was just be a sponge around him and soak up, everything he had to tell me. As far as the football aspect, as far as life, real life aspect. So, just had the opportunity to learn him. He's a lot more older than me. He's in his 30s. I'm still in my 20s. So, learning a little bit from him, was great. Seeing the way he played finally, watching him on TV at Alabama and then getting the opportunity to play next to him. I mean, it was great. So, I mean, that was a great battle, and I enjoyed every part of it.
Definitely. For anybody who's like, hey, that name sounds familiar, Blake Sims was a former NFL, CFL quarterback before he ended up in the Arena League and ultimately with the IFL's Frisco Fighters. So, what was it like for you to return to Texas and represent your home state as the starter for the Frisco Fighters this season?
Yes, sir. So, with the recruitment process, I told myself if I was going to do the indoor football league and again, that I would only play basically back home. After doing it the first year, I found out that my state actually had a team, and that was as close as Frisco, which is only 30 minutes from where I'm originated from. So once I found out about the Frisco Fighters, I was sold on them, and if I had the opportunity of playing indoor again, that's where I would be going. So that kind of led to me coming to Frisco. Great opportunity. Um, I had the opportunity of allowing my family and friends the ability to come and watch me play. It was great. My niece had the opportunity of watching me play, so it was really more so for my family and friends, being close, allowing them to be able to watch me in person, and enjoy this journey.
Definitely. So I got a couple comments I'm going to run through real quick. We got Shayla
Okay.
Lee. She's got some strong arms for you.
Hmm.
Diggs BTW says, "Hey, what's up, G?" And then
Hmm.
Ben Taylor says, "Go TJ."
Yes,
Listen.
sir.
So talk to me about the relationship you have with one of the best indoor football coaches, in my opinion, in Billy Back. What are some of the things you've learned from Coach Back during your time together?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. First, I want to say thanks to Coach for giving me the opportunity of playing um, here in Frisco. It's been great. The first year we had the opportunity of learning each other. I had the opportunity of learning him, what type of coach he is, and then him learning me as the type of player I am. We both are hungry. We both want nothing but greatness. We both want nothing but to win. So um, he's has had success in the indoor game for a while. So with his offense, the way he operates as far as his route concepts and his offensive scheme, it really is um, suited to the quarterback. Um, he allows me the ability to make a lot of plays as far as in the air and allow my receivers to have option routes. Which is great because it's all off the leverage of the DB. So wherever the DB is at, we're going opposite. So I mean that's great. And then he runs me a little bit, So I had the opportunity of doing both, running and passing. So the first season we did a great job, but I really feel like we left a lot on the table. So um, if it comes down to that, we got a lot of unfinished business, to handle. We're both right now game planning and scheming right now for this upcoming season. So looking forward to it.
Definitely. Well, I got a quote from Coach Back real quick. TJ is a playmaker. He's athletic and he's one of the hardest workers I've been around. He's serious about the game and making it to the next level. He will be a top MVP candidate in the IFL this season if another outdoor league doesn't scoop him up beforehand. So I like what he said there at the end because as we all talked about before, and we're going to briefly touch on once again, you were invited to the 2023 XFL draft class. What does it mean to you knowing how difficult it is to get into the draft class currently that you got invited to it?
I'm excited. I'm excited, but I know that's not my ultimate goal. My ultimate goal is to land on the team. There's a lot of teams out here in Texas. There's actually three teams. A team in Dallas. There's a team in Houston, and there's also a team in San Antonio. So Um, with three teams being in Texas, I'm looking forward to, possibly landing on in one of those organizations and helping one of those organizations, win the championship. So, I'm excited. I'm excited once I got the news about me being in the draft pool. It only motivated me to train a little bit harder, knowing that, I may have the opportunity of playing at one of the highest levels. So, um, I'm excited right now. I'm working tremendously hard and trying to make sure that if I get that opportunity, I make the most of it.
Definitely, definitely. We spoke about Cavante Turpin earlier. I've talked about it quite often. If you don't follow me on Twitter, definitely you want to follow me on Twitter. Like I said, I talk about TJ a lot because he won a lot this season, and we actually came in contact months ago because of an article I wrote about people who were attending XFL showcases. And this man contacted me, letting me know he was invited to a showcase, which in itself was big. I mean, that meant that coaches already knew who he was. They were scouting him long before the XFL draft came about. So to get that invite is really, I don't want to say too much of a surprise, given they had already had their eye on you.
Yes,
But
sir.
I personally think you have a really good opportunity to be drafted this upcoming week or 2 weeks from now. Sorry about that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it.
Definitely. So you had a tremendous season in 2022, and you led your team to a 15-3 record while ranking fourth in the league in rushing and eighth in passing yards, which I thought was just amazing. You also
Yes, sir.
topped 15 touchdowns on the season. Was this the kind of season you expected to have, given the chance to be the guy for an IFL team?
Yes, sir. So as far as the overall success, I was looking forward to taking my team, leading my team to the championship. Unfortunately, we didn't have the opportunity. We lost in the in the conference finals. So um, it was a great season, but I just feel like I left a lot on the left a lot out there. I just feel like I didn't finish So, but it was a great season. We had an opportunity of putting up a lot of points, showing the league that we were basically had the best offense. I had a great running back at Justin Rankins, and then great receivers. Some of my good close friends, Jermanique Smith, who was a rookie, who went all rookie, and then Juju Augustine. That's another one of my good friends, who put up a lot of great stats as well. So, I mean, I was surrounded by a lot of great players, a lot of players who have already won indoor football league championships. So, just surrounded by guys who's already been successful. I mean, it kind of just rubbed off on me. We all was just looking to basically do it big out here in Frisco and try to grab that championship.
Definitely. So we got a couple more comments. Real underdog, and then Lamont Wright says Dallas Cowboys don't sleep on TJ Edwards. He's in your backyard. Go get him. So I would personally recommend the Houston Texans. I'm pretty sure Dallas is pretty set on quarterback at the moment.
Hmm.
Um, but with that being said, this past season we saw a rather interesting situation where the man we spoke about earlier, Blake Sims, caught a touchdown pass thrown by you. So how did that play call come about?
Yeah, so kind of after the Arizona Rattlers game, when we went up there and we beat them, I actually came in that game a little bit close to halftime. We were kind of down by 19, and then we ended up beating them on a late in the game touchdown that I kind of snuck in on a quarterback power run and we scored and we went for two to seal it. But after that game, that's kind of when I solidified the starting role, and Blake maneuvered over to basically a utility guy. So we was using him in all different aspects. We used him in the backfield at running back. We used him at receiver, and then he kind of played a little bit of quarterback too as well. So he was all over the field. So um, the play call at that time was kind of schemed up for him. He kind of had a shallow route, crosser route, and I kind of bought time with my feet with the pressure that I was receiving, and I kind of found him coming across my face, and I gave him the ball. He has great hands. I kind of we always say quarterbacks have the best hands on the field, really, and everybody knows that. So I didn't think twice about throwing it to him once I seen him cross my face, and he made the play like he always does. So I'm glad I get to say I threw a touchdown to him for sure.
That's very interesting. I was looking to see, who exactly the pass came from, and I was kind of surprised to see that it did come from you. I was wondering if it was kind of one of those trick play situations, but it was awesome. I mean, like in my personal opinion, when you have a guy like that and he's not your starter and you know that, why not get him involved in a game some other
Correct.
way? And like that's just proof that he's obviously going to do damage if he's involved.
Correct.
Um, so congratulations, Blake Sims, in your retirement. I wish you nothing but the best after your playing career. It has been a lot of fun to watch you play.
Yes, sir.
Um, so you lead your team into the playoffs and you advance to play the Quad City Wheelers before the championship game. This was one of the classic battles between two great quarterbacks with EJ Hilliard on the opposite side of the field. I know you ultimately ended up losing the game, but is a game like this where you're just going back and forth with another team still entertaining from your perspective? I mean, is it fun to sit there and duel with another great quarterback?
Most definitely. I mean, we don't want it easy. We want to make sure that the defense or just the opposing team overall is just making us work. So we actually didn't think it was going to be a shootout. We kind of played those guys. I think it was 2 weeks before the first playoff game. So I mean, we beat them. I think about 20 points. So I mean, we thought we had those guys, and that's kind of the reason why the game resulted in the way that it did. We kind of relaxed. Coming into the game, we kind of already was planning ahead, planning for the future, which was Las Vegas. So that's kind of was on us. But it was a great game. Both teams putting up points. It's just the Frisco Fighters, we had too many mistakes. We had more mistakes than they did. So, and then the mistakes that we had, they were able to capitalize off those mistakes. So great game. Just not happy with the results for sure.
Very understandable. I mean, obviously, as the quarterback one, you want to win every game if you could. I mean, go undefeated if you could. And you guys came very close this season. So definitely you heading into the 2023 season again, if you're on the Fighters and not in the XFL or the USFL. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch because I have a feeling that you're going to be gunning for that undefeated record throughout the season.
Yeah, we're gonna be
Uh,
looking to put up a lot of points. And make it entertaining. Make sure that we get in the end zone enough so that we can, get disperse out the football to the fans. Get them some souvenirs to take home.
I love that. I love that. So you ended up re-signing with Frisco rather quickly after the 2023 IFL season. Did you just immediately know that that was where you were going to be if you were going back to the IFL and you had unfinished business there?
Most definitely. As far as the indoor football, I wouldn't play nowhere else but Texas. I don't think I would go to another state and play in the indoor football league. I think this is the best place for me. We have the best facilities. We got great owners, and then we're partnered with the Dallas Stars. So, as far as receiving the extra amenities and having the ability to go to the games, we just went this past week to a Dallas Stars game, their opening game. So, having the different avenues, having the opportunity to network in a great city of Frisco that's growing. So, this is the perfect place as far as indoor football league, not only for me, but for anyone. There's nothing like Texas, and then especially Dallas. So um, it was just a great opportunity. And I told myself and then my family, they already know that if I was doing the indoor football league again, this is where I was going to play it.
I love that. And smart on Coach Back for signing you right away, knowing that fact as well. I mean, if I were you, if I were him, I would want you as my quarterback, no questions about it.
Most definitely
So,
appreciate that.
absolutely. So this offseason, you have also been working out with, as I said in the intro, a USFL quarterback coach, Zerick Rollins from the New Jersey Generals. With that being said, how did this opportunity come about? Did you seek him out to continue training, or was he somebody who contacted you?
So, like I said, me, Cavante Turpin, and I are on the same sporting agency, Team Up Sports. So with him playing for the New Jersey Generals, we still have great connections with the team and the coaching staff. But I actually was at a workout, a showcase out in Houston, Sugar Land, Texas, and I kind of threw pretty well. And a lot of the XFL and USFL scouts, I kind of gained their notice. And Coach Rollins was actually the quarterback coach there, who was working out the quarterbacks at that time. So he was the one putting us through the drills and whatnot. And after the camp, he spoke with me. He told me he liked my game and that I belonged to the next level, but that he wanted to, he could see some things that he wanted to help improve in my game. So he said he really enjoyed my play style, and he actually offered his services to me himself. So once he did that, I kind of could see that I was gaining interest, not only from just him, but just the USFL. So I took the matter in my own hands and took him up on that opportunity, and we kind of scheduled training together that way, and that kind of led to what's going on now.
Very nice, very nice. I love that approach to it. I mean, obviously, that's a connection that you made with a league that may not have otherwise looked your way. But I have a hard time believing they didn't prior to that. And the New Jersey Generals in particular have shown a love for IFL players, with Daquan Neal being there and then Ben Holmes last season. So it would not
Right.
surprise me at all to see some interest coming your way from the Generals or other teams for that matter. But with that being said, do you see yourself in the mold of a guy like DeAndre Johnson, who's a breakout player that a lot of people may not have known prior to the 2022 USFL season?
Most definitely, most definitely. I watched the Generals all season with her being a part of the team, so um, I got the opportunity to, you know, watch DeAndre in his game, and then as well as Louis Perez. Actually compete against Louis because he played at Commerce, so we both were in D2 on the D2 level, so we had the opportunity of competing against each other. But yeah, I watched DeAndre and just the New Jersey Generals offense. I enjoy what they do with the quarterback. They move him around, move him out the pocket, and then as well as they run DeAndre a little bit too as well. Not more so Louis, but DeAndre. They use him in the run game as well. So, I've been talking with the Generals, and then as well as the head players personnel guy. Me and my agent, we're talking to them. So there's a lot of interest in the USFL. I'm looking forward to this upcoming spring and seeing where I land for sure.
Definitely. Well, my personal opinion is I'm crossing my fingers on the XFL draft in 2 weeks, but I would love to see you in the USFL as well. I'm going to be following both of them for sure. I mean, either way, great football to be watched. Um, what are some of the things that scouts might see in your game and critique in your game, but that you're already working on with, perhaps Coach Rollins or on your own?
I would say more so taking snaps from underneath the center. I've been a part of mostly spread offenses. So normally we don't too much typically go underneath the center. So working on taking drops from underneath the center. That's more so what I'm working on right now. Because in the NFL they do both. Even though they shotgun, they got plays where the quarterback's underneath the center too as well. So just trying to make sure that I understand, taking drops from underneath the center, reading defenses from underneath the center because it's different with me being closer to the line of scrimmage as far as 5 yards from the center and me being able to scan the field. Um, that's more so what I'm working on right now.
Absolutely. So obviously, we just talked about some potential weaknesses. So I want to give you kind of the floor. Everybody knows you're an amazing athlete. So with that being said, why don't you take an opportunity to kind of tell people the strengths of your game in the passing sense?
Um, well, shout out to God, give him all the glory. He has blessed me with the ability to have a strong arm. I could throw it a mile. But as far as making any throw, there's not a throw that I can't make. Um, I can go down the field, I can go intermediate, I can go short. You can move me out the pocket. I can make throws on the run. Um, I can do it all. So I'm a complete passer. I'm able to stay in the pocket, trust my O line and deliver the ball in the pocket. But I'm also able to use my feet, get outside the pocket, and make the plays with my feet and make the passes on the run too as well. So, um, I'm like a melting pot. I can give you, all different blends, of the quarterback position. But the main thing, I'm a leader. The guys around me, my troops. I'm the guy that's going to get them ready to play. I'm a guy that's going to make sure that I do everything that I can to make sure that they want to play for me. I lead by example. I'm a hard worker, so um, I'm everything a coach, an organization would want at that quarterback position for sure.
I personally would agree as well. With that being said, my final question for the night is there a future in coaching at the professional level after your playing career is over?
Most definitely. So my mother, she always is on me as far as giving back. As far as like the training aspects, that would later on lead to the coaching. Yeah, I find love in the game of football. So um, for as long as I can, I'll be around football and until it's my time. So I for sure see myself coaching, and it'll for sure probably be in the state of Texas where football is taken seriously. So um, I'm looking forward to it. But right now, I'm just really more so focused on getting my foot in the door and making the most out of the opportunity while I'm young. And then allowing everything like that as far as the coaching and life after football to handle itself. So right now I'm just focused on the football, and then later on it can lead to coaching. It can lead to maybe being in front of the camera and broadcasting, or even training. Training an athlete. So um, I'm looking forward to it. But right now, I'm locked in on right now for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. One last question before I get you out of here, and this is more of a personal question from me to you. We'll be doing some live XFL draft coverage here on Shady Sports Network. I would absolutely love if I could get you back on after we hear your name drafted on draft day.
Most definitely, most definitely. I'd love to be back.
Definitely. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I'm looking for like a 3 to 5 minute, kind of reaction, tell us how you feel type deal, and then let you go back to your family and have your time to yourself. So not trying to like, monopolize your time or anything on draft day, but it would be really cool to have you on.
Yeah, most definitely. We can set something up. And yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Cool. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. With that being said, it's been a lot of fun researching your career. I mean, obviously, I followed along with you all season long. I kind of became a de facto Fighters fan because of the fact that I was simply rooting for you. And it was amazing to watch you play this season. It really was. So
Yes,
I'm looking
sir.
forward to 2023, whether you're playing outdoors, indoors, wherever it may be. I'll definitely be following along. So best of luck. Thank you so much for coming on. Have a great rest of your night. I'm
Yes,
looking forward to
sir.
speaking again.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. And thank you for everyone for tuning in.
Absolutely. Is there anybody you want to shout out while you have the opportunity?
A lot of those people you were posting up there, my family and friends, Shayla, Lamont Wright, that's my uncle, and then Real Underdog Trapping, that's my dad with his business page. So a lot of family tuning in. Thank y'all for tuning in. They've been with me this whole journey. They've watched me since I was little league. So, they already know where I belong. So, I'm just trying to make sure I keep handling business so that I can get to that next level so I can make, finalize making them proud.
Definitely. Definitely. Well, thanks again, man. I appreciate everything. I'm sure they're very proud of you and looking forward to where you land in the 2023 season as well. With that being said, have a great night, and I look forward to speaking to you again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You too.
So once again, guys, that was TJ Edwards, the quarterback for the Frisco Fighters, and hopefully soon to be an XFL quarterback as well. The XFL draft is in 2 weeks. November 16th is the first day of the draft. TJ Edwards has a draft invite. Many IFL players have draft invites. So if you're a fan of the indoor football, you definitely want to be following along with the XFL draft as well. In fact, we've got one more comment here. Desmond Lawrence, great quarterback. I'm trying to play slot receiver in IFL. Desmond, I highly recommend you DM me on Facebook. My name is Sam Shady on Facebook. Send me a message. I'll do what I can to try and help you out there, buddy. With all that being said, I am super excited to cover the draft coming up in 2 weeks. I really do expect to see TJ's name called. He's an amazing player. I actually wrote an article. You can go back and check it out on xflnewshub.com a while back that I truly believe that he could be the DeAndre Johnson of the XFL. I mean, I don't want to throw that comparison out there, but he's a mobile guy. He's a guy that can come in and turn a lot of heads that maybe people have been sleeping on before this. He played at a D2 school up until his 1 year at University of Indianapolis. So maybe there's some people who don't quite know who he is yet, but they will shortly. I promise you. With that being said, it's been so much fun covering his career, watching the Fighters this season, and I will definitely look forward to seeing where he lands for the 2023 season. Once again, thank you, TJ, for coming on. Thank you, everybody who tuned in. If you're still with us, make sure you do me a solid, hit that like button, comment, subscribe. Today, you'll be entered into our drawing to win $150 in sports memorabilia of your choice. That could even be $150 in XFL team memorabilia for where TJ lands. Or if he's back with the Fighters, let's get you some Fighters gear and you can go out there and, properly support your team. With that being said, once again, thank you for everything. Have a great night, and I will catch you in the next one.